The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the world. It holds humanity's greatest secrets and borders all the other oceans of the world. You need a magnifying glass not to miss the country we're going to talk about today. We're talking about Samoa, more precisely about football in Samoa. First of all, I want to say thank you. Over 150 people are already following my journey through the world of football and have subscribed to my channel. I would be very happy if our travel group continues to grow so that we can exchange ideas about football all over the world. But now, let's get into today's video. Just over 200,000 inhabitants, independent of New Zealand since 1962 and only one city in their entire country. Welcome to Samoa. The only city in the country is capital Apia, which is also the political and economic center of the country. The independent state of Samoa can be reached via Faleolo Airport. Football is not the biggest sport in the country. Rugby dominates everywhere. Influenced in particular by New Zealand, the country has even made it to the World Cup and currently occupies the 15th place in the Rugby World Ranking. Other popular sports are cricket and judo. Considering the size and population of the country, the success in rugby is very impressive. Football cannot match these high standards. Samoa is ranked 193rd in the FIFA World Ranking, one place behind its neighbors from American Samoa. The history of football in Samoa begins with the founding of the Football Federation Samoa in 1968. It took some time for the national team to play its first international game. Not until 1979, when it suffered a resounding 12-0 defeat to the Solomon Islands. In the same year, 1979, the Samoa National League was founded. First champion at that time was Vaivaze Thai FC, and the next two titles also went to the club. They still play in the league today, but their last title was several years ago. Most recently, it was a matter between Lupe Ole Soaga and Kiwi FC who decided the title between themselves. National player Mike Saofaiga, who has been playing in the league for several years and knows the conditions very well, can give us a little insight.
And then here in Samoa, it's not like big country like to develop in, because it's the money. That's the difference with other club here and the overseas. As overseas, it's like the good training, good developments, good caring. But Samoa is not. It's not like doing in a club.
So, Mike reports hardly any professional structures. A total of 12 teams play in the first league, and the reigning champions Lupe Ole Soaga also represent the country at international level. However, due to the corona situation, the 2021 OFC Champions League was cancelled. The year before, Lupe Ole Soaga beat opponents from the Cook Islands, Tonga and American Samoa in the qualifying round. They failed to qualify for the knockout stages, but still made history. The 4-3 win over Ba FC from Fiji Islands was the first time a Samoan team had won in the group stage of the OFC Champions League. Mike has also made some appearances in the OFC Champions League, back then for Kiwi FC. In Samoa, all matches are played at the National Stadium ground. But don't get confused and go to the biggest stadium in the country where only rugby is played. Now let's move on to the national team. They are often associated with Australia's 31-0 record win. However, it was the American Samoa national team that suffered this heavy defeat. Samoa's highest win also came against their immediate neighbors. They bet American Samoa 8-0 in 2001. Until 1997, they were known as Western Samoa and took part in some continental tournaments. The highlight here was hosting the South Pacific Games in 1983. They bet American Samoa on home soil and drew with Tonga. They have been member of the OFC since 1986. In the same year, they also became a member of FIFA. Samoa first participated in a World Cup qualifier in 1996. After beating Cook Islands, they lost in the second round against Tonga. In the following years, Samoa again failed to qualify for the World Cup or the OFC Nations Cup. 2008 was the negative highlight of football in Samoa, when the association was suspended by the FIFA and the OFC due to enormous financial problems. A series of reforms followed and they returned to the international stage. In 2012 they qualified for the OFC Nations Cup and were allowed to take part in the tournament on the Solomon Islands. 3 clear defeats against Tahiti, Vanuatu and New Caledonia led to a quick exit. In 2016 they again qualified for the OFC Nations Cup, but once again they had to go home without any points. I spoke to Mike about the development of the national team.
We ask many of times that we ask for to make training camp there or go in the club there. They always stay in Samoa. So that's the big problem there. We're not like other countries there. They push there for other countries to go there, to go there, to go there, to make them more experience and more knowledge to do it, but they can't. They always stay here and they think in Samoa. It's like only in Samoa we're doing the training there. So that's why Samoa will not move on for next level.
Now the latest highlight was the 2019 Pacific Games, played in the Samoan capital Apia. They won against Tonga with 2 goals from Vito Laluata, but again suffered significant defeats against Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu. A similar success as in rugby seems to be out of reach. They have to face money and structural problems. But Mike still believes in his country. He would like to lead it one day, even as national coach.
At Samoa, it's only the attack. They always focus. They focus only on attack. From my view, I hope if I can do it for the better future, I would just change my team for defense. I will build a hard defense, then they will build attacking after.
If that day comes, I will of course tell you about it and even do another interview with then national coach Mike Saofaiga. Did you know anything about football in Samoa before watching this video? Write it down in the comments and also don't forget to write down which country I should feature in my next video. I hope you enjoyed the video and I would be very happy if you subscribe to my channel Football Worldwide. Together we travel through the world of football and get to know football in every country in the world. To stay up to date, make sure to also follow my Instagram page, which is down in the description. It's time again to say goodbye in the traditional Samoan way. In Samoa, they say tofa soifua,